The Terror season finale, We Are Gone. Definitely an interesting final episode for the season. Honestly, the main thing that kind of surprises me is how there could even be a season two. I mean, I guess technically the people that went looking for the crew could actually find the captain. But other than that, I'm like, well, I mean, there's that. There's the Lady Silence thing, which we find out her name is Silna. But otherwise, like everything is kind of pretty much wrapped up. I mean, everybody's dead for the most part. The monster's dead as well. So it's like I don't know what they could do unless the story was about Selna getting a new connection or the beast, coming back to life or something like that. I was just like, I don't really see how this could even have a season two. Like, what would they do? It would be interesting to find out if it, does get renewed. But definitely enjoyed this episode. It was pretty crazy. Like a lot of stuff that happened, I wasn't expecting. Mostly the all the characters getting killed off. That was probably the thing I expected the least. I figured some of the characters would at least make it, but it seemed like everybody died. I mean, Good Sir ended up dying. He kills himself. Um, he basically, he's poisoned, so he tells the captain like, "Hey, just make sure you eat the soles of my feet." Because that's like super important. Otherwise, you get poisoned too. And it was just like everybody's getting killed off, and then of course Hickey, being the insane person that he was, he goes off to fight the beast, with everyone, his whole crew, and then one guy gets scared. He takes off. So I guess technically that guy. I can't remember if that guy who was running away lived because he ran away before the monster actually showed up. So I can't remember if that guy actually got killed. So he might be one of the few people out there too. But everybody pretty much got ripped apart. Like everybody was dying and just absolute pandemonium. And Hickey thought he knew what he was doing because it was like, oh, I cut my tongue off. I give it to the beast, and it did slow it down. And he thought that was gonna be it. Like I got it. I know what to do. And then it just bit his arm, and then it just ripped him in half and ate him. And I was like, oh, okay, well that was it. And then it died because it technically choked on him. And I was like, oh, okay, well I guess that wraps up everything. Everybody's dead now. And then the captain, Crozer goes back to the camp and everybody's dead. And I'm pretty sure they did, they mentioned, some people decided to leave, some people decided to stay. And I don't know what happened with those people, but I don't know if they actually said it like in the episode because I'm always doing something else. I'm watching the show, admittedly. But when they went back, I'm pretty sure that the people that were all there that died were the people that decided to stay, including, of course, the new lieutenant. And if I remember right, he did say ghost, so that could be something that they pick up in season two, because it was just like he died and they put like hooks on him and all that stuff, and it was like, okay, obviously that has nothing to do with the Inuit people, so that's something else that they could go into for the next season if they wanted to. But they all got killed off, and it wasn't because of the creature, it was something else. So it's like, all right, well, they all died. And like I said, I don't know if the other half of the camp actually made it out or anything like that. Because honestly, going through this show, I only remembered, like, even face wise, I only remembered like 5 people because there were so many people that were in this show that actually had speaking lines. It wasn't like normal where it's like you have a million people, but most of them are in the background. It was like they had a lot of characters actually with dialogue, and sometimes I'd be getting mixed up with who was who. So I was like, I don't really think they showed everybody. So I think the people that decided to leave did kind of make it out of there. So maybe that could be something that shows up in season two as well. But definitely a crazy way to end things out. Pretty much everybody gets killed off. The beast is dead. Silna is now kind of banished because of what happened with the beast. So it's like, that completely failed. It was like there's kind of no coming back from that. So she's cast out. And then Crozier stays with them in the camp for 2 years. And then we go back to the beginning of the season where the people showed up and they were looking for them. And he's like, just tell everybody that we're all dead and gone. And then it ends on this super epic clip. I thought it was a great scene that ended on where it's like him and this totally random kid, and he's kind of just looking down at the water because they're like hunting, and it's just like it just pans out, and it was really cool because I was like, that's very interesting because it was almost like a picture where they were zooming out, but there was like some CG stuff put into it, and I just thought it looked really cool, like the way they did it, because there was like the tiniest little bit of motion, but for the most part he was still, and that they're just panning out for the ending, and I was like, it's not shot to have it on at the end because it was just him like just out with this solely random kid. It just seemed weird, like that was how it ended instead of like him by himself. I thought would have made a little bit more sense as the ending thing, but it was just like this random kid was like sleeping on his leg, and I just thought that was funny. Unless that was Silna, and it just totally didn't look like her. It looked like a random kid to me. But I thought it was a cool looking shot. And it was like, okay, well, that's kind of where it ends. He wants them to, believe that everybody's dead and gone because for the most part, everyone is like, except for him, everyone is dead and gone, and that's just he just doesn't want to go back to it because there's kind of nothing, there's nothing there. So that's what he tells them, to tell the travelers, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So that was a great ending. Like I said, my main thing is I'm super curious how it could even go on to a season two, but it was definitely a fun season. I'm definitely excited to see, if the show does get renewed. I would assume, there's more stuff from the books that this is based off of. If we even went through the whole first book, I mean, technically we could have just gone through like, half the book, and then the second half was his adventures and the extra stuff. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a season two. Maybe we won't. But either way, I definitely enjoyed this one. Thought it was a good show. Definitely crazy, and it just got crazier and crazier as time went on. Where it's like, first it's just a supernatural beast, and then it's Hickey being the crazy character, everybody getting sick and like going insane because of the food, or just simply dying because of the food. Just all sorts of bad stuff kept happening to them. So it was definitely fun to kind of watch the degradation of this crew, and people just trying to lead and stick together, and then people just going nuts, like the other doctor going crazy and setting himself on fire and stuff, and basically trying to like kill everybody, stuff like that. So it was just nuts. It was just a crazy freaking show, but definitely enjoyed it. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about this finale, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. And if we did get a season two, what would you guys want to see from it? I mean, it was just crazy. Like I said, the way it ended, everything was kind of interesting, and it seemed like it could have wrapped up if they wanted it to, but like I said, there was the little stuff with the camp being attacked, and Silna kind of getting retribution if Crozer is somehow able to do that. But it would be interesting. I'd love to see just where it could possibly go, just from a story perspective, because I'm like, it doesn't seem like there's that much to go on. It would be so drastically different because all the characters we know are dead except for one, so it would be so drastically different. It would almost be like a totally different series. But I'd be interested to see what they did for a season two. So I would love to know what you guys would want to see, if you're even interested enough in the show to get a season two with the way it ended. If you would be interested in a season two, because like I said, I personally at least feel like it would be so drastically different, because the whole thing was this crew of people who were just like in a totally different world and facing things that they just did not understand. It would be totally different because all those people are pretty much dead now. So I would love to know if you like the show enough to see it get a season two, and if you did, what predictions you guys might have for it, or what you guys would just want to see in general. And like I said, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.